Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to the world abroad. Welcome to the Optimistic M. I'm your host, Michelle. Welcome to my channel. I want to wish you a happy new year to my friends and people that follow me from the other side of the planet. Today, I was gonna talk about some of my goals and plans for next year, and I was gonna reflect on this year, which I did do, by the way, and I still have some reflection to do. So what I decided to do was make a list. And on this list, I actually have different categories or subsections, as it were, that I'm going to quickly read out for you. So I have things like what I'm thankful for, things I'm thankful for 2016. I'm thankful for good health, being alive, my family, my mother, good food, good friends, stuff like that. Just thankful for the opportunity that I've been granted and the opportunity that I've strived to obtain and hold on to, of course, among other things. There's a lot of other things I'm still thinking about that's still kind of swirling around in my head, as it were. Things I've accomplished, I also have that on my list. One of the things I know for sure I accomplished was I graduated this year with a bachelor's in international business. And I have successfully ran a business, even if it's not my own. I successfully ran a business location pretty much without compensation with the program I'm doing. Long story short, that's the basic thing that I've accomplished. I'm sure there's other things I can't think of other things at the moment. I'm still working on my list right now. I'm still kind of compiling some things, some thoughts in my mind right now. Things I'd like to improve on, have that on my list. I'm looking forward to certain things for next year. Actually, I can say it now. So doing more with my YouTube channel. I'm looking forward to doing more with that. I'm looking forward to giving more to society and finding more of myself and true potential, as well as helping others to do the same, because it's not just about myself, but it's about helping others as well. And if I can help others, then I can also help myself. And of course, if I help others do the same thing, then they can also help other people. Pay it forward, man. Pay it forward. Before I get to goals, so I have my last list or subsection on my list, uncertainties, different things that I'm looking forward to, but kind of like, I'm like, damn, that's uncertain, I'm like, I have like second thoughts. I know. So here's the thing. In the last few weeks, I wanted to give a cast about this before. Now this is the perfect time to do it. So, and I'm going to get back to my goals in a second. But I was talking with my roommates, and then I've been actually reading this book lately about pretty much finding what you're meant to do, not settling for less, not settling for the second best thing besides what you could be doing in life, which you really won't know until you keep doing other things. I'm learning this. Like, for example, I was telling my roommate, hey, I joined the Navy initially for more money, for better finance. And I got that. Along the way, along the journey, the path, I got to California. Now, I have always wanted to go to California anyways, and I was like, well, my school was in California for the Navy, right? So I was like, well, California. I'm going to California. So I went to California. The path evolved. I got to Hawaii. I'm here now. I've been here for about 10 years. It'll be 11 years tomorrow, actually, because I got here in 2007 on January 1st. So it'll be 11 years tomorrow. All together. Now, I technically don't include the Navy, but whatever. All in all, I've been here for 11 years. And the point is, my journey has evolved. Like, I started something and then I kept going. Plans changed, things changed. I decided to stay here. I didn't go back home. I didn't feel like I needed. I didn't feel like I really wanted to go back because back. I mean, family. I have family and everything back home, but as far as like opportunity and then things, and then of course the weather. But just like I'm in a place where a lot of people wish and dream they could be, and like I never really cared to go to Hawaii when I was younger. I was like, well, Hawaii, that sounds cool, but I don't really have a desire to go. But it would have been great to go. You know, it's like I guess one of those thoughts where it was like that would be freaking awesome, and it happened. You know, I made it here. You know, did a job, and now I work and I live here. It's just one of those things that you never really think about when you start something, when you start the journey, and next thing you know, you're halfway across the world. Like, wow, you know, where does this adventure just keeps going? And it really does. When I talk about uncertainties, it's kind of like that. It's like when I joined the Navy, I had no idea how it was going to be. I mean, I had ideas like, okay, I know it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy for me, and I got to know how to swim. I learned how to swim, and that was like the hardest thing for me. It was a mentally, like psychologically, just like it totally just, it was so much. But I got past it. That's the important thing. And I was talking, I know I did make a cast about this already, but I'll be quick. I was talking about a Lyft driver, and he mentioned about, you know, he wanted to go abroad, but he ended up being in Hawaii, of all places. And actually, I ended up here, and I ended up going to Australia last year because I wanted to go. So, joined the Navy, went to California, went for school, came here, been out here for almost 11 years, started going back to college. This is where everything changed. The path changed again. It evolved. And that's the point. It evolved, and it allowed me to go to Australia. I mean, of all places in the world. I mean, there were other choices, but I ended up going there, and I loved it. And I'm coming to find out that maybe, just maybe, that I just love to travel. And I know I do. I love to travel. I love to, you know, eat different foods, meet new people, make new friends, that sort of thing. I'm reading this book. It's called The Art of Work. It's an excellent book, and it's taken me too long to actually read it. I'm still getting through it. By Jeff Goins, A Proven Path to Discovering What You Are Meant to Do. And I'm learning the important thing is not, you know, on the path to finding your calling, you may not always have the answers in front of you. There's going to be uncertainties. There's going to be different paths you're going to have to take if you want to get out of your comfort zone, because to find whatever you're destined to do, whatever your passion is, you're going to have to get out. You're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. You have no other choice but to stay doing what you're doing, and that's an option. I mean, hey, if you're happy, you're happy. And you actually might already be doing what you're supposed to be doing. But you're not going to know unless you put yourself out there. And I wouldn't have never gotten here if I would have never joined the military. I would have never gotten to Australia. I mean, maybe some other path or way I would have gotten there. But just the way everything has worked out, it's pretty amazing, really, to be honest. It really is. You think about your path in life and like different pivots in life, which is like a major thing. It's a major thing, and most of the time you might even like miss it. You might miss that pivot and be like, okay, now I'm back to like I'm doing something totally different now. Now, when you think back, you'll be like, oh, wait a minute, that was a pivot. You may not realize it at the time. Goals. Originally, I was going to talk about my goals for next year, and I decided not to. I'm not going to do it right now. And you're probably wondering why. The reasoning is first of all, I wrote down my goals on paper for next year. Okay? So I'm not a hypocrite. I'm going to get more into that in a second. I'm deciding not to release my goals publicly. Besides the fact that I want to get in better shape. So I gave you one. I gave you one. But it's not to keep a secret. And I honestly don't mind, telling my goals, giving my goals out. But in some recent, I guess in my recent, just watching, I actually watched the video. And I will actually put a card in here to link to that video so you'll see what I'm talking about. Basically, telling people, and there's nothing wrong with telling people your goals, just so long as you have somebody that can hold you accountable to those goals. This might actually be one of my issues, something to improve on for next year. The danger of telling people your goal is that, one, accountability is great, like I said, but unless you have somebody that can hold you accountable to those goals, then you're kind of just like speaking out into the universe, which is fine, except when you tell people your goals, apparently, statistically, it gives you a false sense of accomplishment. Like you've actually done something, but you really haven't done anything at all. You're just telling people what you're going to do, but you haven't done anything yet. And there was a study done, and basically, there were two groups of people. There was a group of people that wrote down their goals, and they listed everything on paper. And then there was a second group that did the same thing, but they told people what their goals were. And I believe there was a 45-minute time limit or something that they were allowed to write their goals down. And what happened was the people that told others their goals, they pretty much gave up after 33 minutes. They stopped writing down stuff after 33 minutes of reflecting. And I mean, check out the video, but I believe it's true. It gives one a false sense of accomplishment when we really haven't done anything. So it's great to tell people, but what is the point if we don't act on it? And that's the most important part of all. Is, yeah, you can write it down, you can tell people, but we gotta act on it. You gotta act on it. So I have my list, and I'm gonna still work on this today. I'm actually gonna compile it down to a smaller list in a smaller notebook so I can carry it with me everywhere, which is what I used to do anyways. This list, I told you before, like I wrote this list and then I put a date at the top. This is when I started the list, and then I'll list everything out on paper, and then once I accomplish that goal, I will put the date I accomplished it. Just very, very important tips for goals in the next coming year, the new year. Write down your goals. This is why I don't believe in resolutions. Resolution is just something that's just kind of like blowing smoke. At least what I've come to learn. So I focus on goals. Goals are something I want to accomplish, something I desire to accomplish, and it's something that you should desire to accomplish in the new year. Write them down on paper. Now I say this because there are a lot of studies that show that people are more likely to achieve their goals if by just writing it down. And this is why. When you write it down, you pretty much engrave it on something. You've engraved it, you've written on something that's physical. Now don't type it out, write it down. And there's a difference. So when you write it down, it's like writing, you wrote it, it's on physical, it's something physical, it's tangible, and place it somewhere you will see it every day. Because this was going to happen every single day. You look at this goal, and even you can go so far as to have like a vision board. Some people do that too. Put it like on the wall and you look at it every day or something. And what's going to happen is you're going to see that thing every single day. And your thoughts, you're going to be thinking about it. So it's not just a thought. Like, remember before when we dreamed up these goals in our minds, we didn't write it down yet, and we just thought about it. But as people, we get busy. And those thoughts can get mixed up with other thoughts. And next thing you know, we forgot what we're doing. We forgot the whole reason why we're doing what we're doing in the first place. And it's happened to me multiple times. Like I was going to school once, and I was like, man, why am I here? What is my goal in all this? You're going to have those thoughts. But if you have it on paper, if you have it right here, you'll never forget. And it's not to say that you're always going to accomplish a goal. I mean, plans change. Our goals change. They change for a lifestyle because nothing is for certain. Nothing is set in stone. The only thing we can be sure of is that we have the opportunity and the ability to know what we want, write it down on paper, and then start acting on it. And when you think about it, you see it, you start acting on it little by little, like little increments. You may start to, you may have a goal like I want to be neater. I want to be more organized. So you'll start by making your bed every day. You didn't do this before, but now you're starting to do it every day. And then incrementally, it's like, well, maybe I'll start dusting like every week. Or something like that. Do something small, realistic. Now, here's the big one. And I say keep it realistic because a lot of people's resolution or goal is to start exercising. It's a big one. That's huge. I guarantee you, 24-hour fitness business is going to skyrocket starting tomorrow. Totally just go bam for that first 20 days or so. And then it's going to die off. People make these unrealistic goals of working out. I'm going to work out every day. Well, how are you going to work out every day if you've never worked out every day before? You got to be realistic. Start out 2 times a week, 3 times a week. Every day, chances are you're probably going to get burned out. And then when you get burned out, you're not going to enjoy it anymore. And that goal becomes near impossible to reach because you made it unrealistic. So keep your goals realistic. And if it's a very big goal, do it piece by piece. There's a quote that says, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. One bite at a time. I heard this years ago. I still remember it to this day. One bite at a time. That's all you can do. And do your best. I mean, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say, I'm not perfect. I screw up. There were things that I know I should have been better at this year. I failed. Or rather, I just totally dropped the ball. I'm not going to even say what they are. I will say that coming up in this new year, I'm going to make some improvements on this. These things on my list. And every now and then, I'll make a video. Maybe what those improvements are. Depending on how personal it is. A lot of these things aren't really personal. I mean, it's just little things. Like I said, I don't want to have this false sense of accomplishment. Like, I actually want to genuinely do this. I want to do it the right way. But by all means, if you have a partner, like a close partner, like your wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, that's out there, that can hold you accountable to these goals, by all means, let them know. Tell them, hey, I trust you with this. I trust you with my life goal because I need to accomplish it. I need your guidance. I need your support. And sometimes you can't do it alone. Sometimes you need help. Sometimes you need a mentor. In fact, I highly recommend you get a mentor if you're doing anything that's beyond yourself. Because a lot of times we don't understand, I'm talking about bigger goals. I'm I'm not talking about things like I'm gonna cut the grass every day, something like that. Like I'm talking big stuff, like big goals. Like you're thinking 5 years in the future. Hey, I'm gonna get in a real estate investment, whatever. I am planning to do that actually. But things that are beyond you, research it, do your homework, get a mentor. This is also good in business. When you make your list, when you make your goals, so you're gonna want to do short-term goals. 2017 should be more about short-term and long-term goals. If you want to plan out that, because it's a whole year. This is what I do. Besides the immediate goals, I do the short-term, which is like, a few weeks to a few months. And long-term is a year to 2 years to 5 years at most. And start just writing stuff down. I mean, reflect on what you would like to do with your life. Start writing it down, one by one. And take actions, take small steps to accomplish those goals. As best you can do. I'm not going to blow smoke. I'm not going to say it's easy. It's not easy sometimes. A lot of times, life goals are not easy. Something hard like, hey, I want to, I don't know, be a millionaire. That's going to take some work. It's not going to be easy to do something like that. But it's not impossible. But if, for example, you want to be a millionaire, why do you want to be a millionaire? I mean, money is great. Money is awesome. But it's better to have some kind of attachment, some personal passion for it, Like the better goal would actually be like, well, I don't really want to be a millionaire, but I do want a lot of money. Or I'd want to be wealthy. And when I say wealthy, I want to be able to have time to spend with my family anytime I want. I want to be able to travel anytime I want. And I have to worry about living paycheck to paycheck. Now that's a goal. When you write your goals, have a more well-defined goal, not just something that's vague. Like, I want to work out. Okay, why do you want to work out? Because I want to look more attractive. Now that's a goal. I think that's about it. I think I've said my piece. And I hope it helps you when you're making your goals. It's not too late. It might be the first day. It's still the 31st here, but it may be the first day, and you might not have anything on paper. Start now. It's better to start now, because now is all you have. It's now. I have my list right here. I'm still working on it. Believe me, I've only sat down for about 30 minutes and worked on this list. I mean, I've sat down 30 minutes to work on that, but I've been thinking about a lot of this stuff for months. So go back. Look at your life. Look at what you want. And write down whatever it is that you have a passion for. Whatever it is you have a desire to do. Now, I will say this. I do have a Evernote. I do also put my notes there as well. So I have a physical copy and a digital copy. So when I'm somewhere, I don't have a piece of paper or a pen to write down stuff, I'll put it in there. I'll just put it on my phone or my computer or whatever. So I'm not saying I'm totally against digital technology for putting your goals down. No, not at all. It's just the mentality. And kind of going back to it is when you type stuff out, it's not the same as writing it out. When I write an A, my brain knows it's an A. When I tap an A, my brain doesn't know the difference between an A or a B or an S or whatever I type. But it does know where it's at with my fingers. But it's basically what to my understanding, was described as being like it's one movement. Muscle memory is just one. And then when you write it down, it's like there's more of a cognitive attachment to it, I guess you can say. I kind of just made that up. Well, the word I did, but the theory or the concept isn't something that's made up. It's actually real. Which is why there's this debate when it comes to, is it better to take notes, writing stuff down, or typing out while you're in class? I think that's it. I mean, I think I've covered everything. I've talked about the goals, the list, and life. And, you know, one of the things I'd like to be more of is real. I don't want to be like a fake. I want to be real. I want to find my true voice. That's another. I gave you another goal. I gave you another goal, and this is something I'm going to work on as I continue to develop this channel. You're welcome. But I also thank you for tuning in, because it's, I think I've made the most videos this year than any other year to date. And actually, I used to make audio broadcasts on this app called Roar. I mean, a lot. Sometimes I'd make 2 per week. But the app's gone, the social network's gone, and all that's left is podcasts I have on my phone that I actually extracted before the servers went down. So, in the future, I have to still figure out how I'm going to get those uploaded, because they're in a weird format. Anyways, if anyone has any assistance on how I can do that, please, by all means, direct message me, contact me, whatever. And I would be greatly appreciative. But anyways, I think that's it. It's just as some final thoughts on the year before I close, is that, overall, 2016 was a great year. And, while we did lose a lot of famous people this year, it's not unlike any other year we've lost famous people, and I've said this before. But here's the thing I want to say, is that you're still here. So live. Most of these guys, most of these actors and actresses, singers, musicians, or whatever, they live their life. Some of them, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know any of these people. I know myself, at least to an extent. I know, and if you know yourself, and know that you still have time, it's not to say that tomorrow's guaranteed to anybody. It's not. I had a scare earlier this year. Something personal. It's not me, but it's a family member. We had a scare, and I was like, man, is it gonna be it? And thankfully, she came out of it. She's healthy. And I'm gonna give her a call. I'm gonna give her a call today after this video. But, things happen. Overall, it's been a great year. It's been a crazy, crazy election season. I mean, I don't know what he's gonna do. All we can do is trust that he'll make the right decisions. I really hope so. And of course, I mean, there's always things we can improve on. There's things I can improve on for sure. And I will. And I'll let you guys know when there's going to be like a major change coming up. Like major. Because our change is coming. I've put on my list already things that I am looking forward to doing. And I just want to let you guys know that when it happens, you'll know. You may not be the first to know, but you will know. There's definitely a lot more I could have accomplished this year. And while I don't regret it because I'm still able to do something about it. I still have the rest of today. Potentially. God forbid something happens and you don't see me anymore. But I still have the rest of the day. I'll see you off tomorrow. As long as I have breath, I'm still able to correct and improve on my shortcomings. And I believe that we each and every one of us, we have breath, we have the ability to make it so, we should make it so. And life changes. Sometimes it's not always what we set out. It's not always what we plan out. Believe me. I think I've almost died maybe 3 times. 3 times I can remember, maybe 4 times, almost getting hit in the crosswalk. There were some near misses. Totaled a car years ago. Got in a car accident. T-boned. I didn't drive for like 2 months after that, by the way. But that's another story. But anyways, the point is, life changes. Plans change. All we can do is keep going forward. Keep progressing every day. Keep getting better. Keep improving. Just be a better version of yourself every single day. And you'll get there. It's not a promise. But you got to do the work. I have to do the work. We all have to do the work if you want to get to that place that we really, truly desire to be our optimum selves, to be the best version of ourselves. Because perhaps in some universe somewhere, you are wealthy. You're doing what you want to do, what you desire to do. Maybe not now. Maybe 5 years in the future you will. Stay the course. Course changes sometimes, and we have to make changes to get back on course. It happens. It's life. I foresee 2017 being a great year, but only if you allow it to be. I know stuff happens. Life happens. Bad things happen. On my list, I didn't write anything that was bad, negative. I said, there are things I want to improve on, and that's what I plan to do. I didn't write anything negative on there at all. Don't focus on negative. Focus on the positive. You put your mind to anything, you accomplish anything. Let's make the new year the best yet. And only you can do that. Only I can do that. Only you can do that. But let's do it together. Let's have a great new year. Let's be safe. Don't drink and drive. Be smart. As far as I know, we only live once. It's going to be a great year. In fact, have a prosperous new year. We all have some things we can accomplish next year, so let's do it. Let's go out there. I want to set a new thought process, a new mentality. No second thoughts, no regrets. That's hard for me. I'm a very analytical person. But you know what? That's something I'm going to strive to work on. And reading this book has taught me some things about second thoughts. If you keep thinking about it, you'll never accomplish anything. Take the actions, make it happen. That's all. Thanks for coming, everyone. It's been a great year, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for tuning in and supporting my channel. Whoever you are out there, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe if you want to keep getting the content, because there's more to come. There's definitely going to be a lot more to come. I'm striving hard to stick to the 1 video per week thing. I have no set schedule, but I'm going to strive to put out 1 video per week. So stay tuned. This is your host, Michaud. This will be my last video for the year. More to come. So like, subscribe, comment below. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Tell me what you plan on doing in the comment section. If you're already in the new year, because I know I have some friends in Australia right now. Australia, China, some other places, and even India, Iran. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me how you celebrate the new year. It's been real. It really has been real. And take care of yourself. Cheers.